Yeah, it's important that I have this conversation right now. We've been watching out a few things play out in the political scene, especially in River State. The saga going on between Camp Wike and Camp Fubara, right? And with the just concluded local government elections, a lot of craziness, got underway. Many local government council offices were burnt down. And in the process of trying to stop the hoodlums, I understand that five lives were lost, right? And I'm wondering what's going on. Why isn't the armed forces or security agencies talking about this? Why isn't there somebody sanctioning anybody for what's going on in River State, right? And so my conclusion is that it's all happening under this particular political dispensation because of the decisions that were made in 2023, right? Mm-hmm. We all have seen APC in government for about 9 years, and we've seen what has happened to Nigeria in the last 9 years. This is not a political thing. I'm not really a political person. This is a business show, but I'm going to go semi-political today, because politics affects the economy. Politics affects businesses. Politics affects all our income. So if you say that politics is exclusive of business, you have seen what's happening in just 1 year. Many businesses have shut down. Incomes are stagnant. Inflation is at 40% or over 40%. Nigerians are suffering. It's all political, right? So we cannot really, separate politics from business. So that's why I really want to talk about this today. A lot of craziness is going on in River State, and I expect that the people who are in charge would look into what's happening there and call some order before it gets out of hand. We all saw what happened many years ago when this violence caused by, politics erupted in River State. Kidnapping started there, really. The kidnapping, as we know it today, actually started in River State many years ago. And it was all connected to politics, right? So I think the armed forces and the federal government should actually rein the thing that's going on in River State, rein it in before it gets really out of hand, right? So I want to talk about why it is important that we call our political class to order. And that's why I want to talk about 2027. And I also want to, put a few things on record so that that I said it here first. And when it begins to happen, I said it. Just like I predicted a lot of things, in the last couple of years that actually came to pass. That doesn't make me a prophet, but somehow I have these feelings when they come, and, they usually happen the way I say them. So I think 2027 is going to be a tough one, right? I wish I could tell Peter Obi to sit this one out. I wish I could, right? Tell him to sit 2027 out. We see what's going on with the Labour Party that became the major opposition party in the last elections, right? But of course, the powers that be have succeeded in destabilizing the Labour Party. There's a lot of infighting going on. In the last elections, Abure was the man in charge. Today, Abure and the new Labour Party are in court, right? And yesterday we heard that the court has, ordered INEC to recognize Abure as the leader of the Labour Party, So that means Abure is no more in the camp of Peter Obi, right? So I think Abure has now become an agent in Labour Party of the ruling party. Something similar to what Apapa did during the last elections, right? So it's clear that Peter Obi doesn't have a future in Labour Party. These are my opinions, and I want to put them out there, right? So I wish I could tell Peter Obi to sit this one out, but even if I did tell him to sit this one out, he wouldn't listen. He would still go ahead. So I'll tell you what I think is going to happen. Obi does not have a future in Labour Party. He can't run on the Labour Party in the next election in 2027, right? Because Abure wouldn't let him, right? That's one. Why did I say that? Now, number one is that the party in power is interested in seeing a Labour Party that is not strong, a Labour Party that cannot challenge them just like they did the last elections. And so that is why they started early, to ensure that by 2027, Labour Party would not have any credibility whatsoever. And it's happening already, right? So that's number one. Number two, the power of incumbency, is very much alive in Nigerian politics, So I really think Peter Obi may not stand a chance in 27. It's not a popular opinion, but I'll put it out there because you're going to see that I'm right eventually, right? So the power of incumbency is very much alive in Nigeria. You cannot win a sitting government, either at the state level or at the federal level, right? Because we know the system is corrupt. We know the system, how it works. We know the system is rigged. We know that INEC is at the forefront of elections, successes in elections in Nigeria, right? So whoever controls the tune whoever controls the piper controls the tune. I think that's how it's said. Yeah. So whoever controls INEC controls who becomes the president of Nigeria, right? But I tell you what's going to happen. If Yakub is still in that office, you can be sure that Labour Party will make a headway, right? But the thing is, it's going to come to a point where Yakub may not even be there next year. I'll get there, right? So Abure is now against Peter Obi and his camp, right? And the ruling party is behind Abure. I am saying this. The ruling party is behind Abure, and the judiciary, who is under the ruling party, are behind Abure. Because, of course, if Abure succeeds in putting Peter Obi out, that means the Labour Party will not stand a chance in 2027. And so it's in the interest of the ruling party that, Abure does what he's doing right now, and he does it successfully, right? So that is clear about that. So any court case that is going to go on, the court case Abure just won yesterday. I don't know if it's from the High Court or if it's for appeal court, whatever it is. If they go to court with Abure 20 times, Abure is going to win 20 times because it's in the interest of the ruling party and the judiciary, who is controlled by the ruling party, to destabilize the Labour Party. That's a fact, and you'll understand in the future. So every court case with Abure will be lost to him. He'll win every court case because the APC ruling class and the judiciary are behind him now, and their goal is to ensure that Labour Party does not stand a chance, and Peter Obi does not stand a chance under Labour Party come 2027. So Peter Obi could change parties, but will not be effective, right? Okay. I predict that Peter Obi is not going to run under Labour Party.
You're making another prediction now.
That's right. So let it be on record that I said this. Peter Obi isn't going to run under Labour Party. Peter Obi is going to change parties. What is going to happen is that he won't be as effective as he was under Labour Party, because people are getting tired of all this move from PDP to Labour Party and now to another party.
Cross-carpeting.
That's right. Now, we're going to also experience a lot of voter apathy. For me, I'm number one candidate of the voter apathy thing, because after what I suffered last year was my first time ever voting, and I gave it my all. I encouraged people through the radio, through my social media platforms, to go out and vote. I made sure I went and got my voter's card. I put a lot of time and money and effort into it last year, right? And after all that, it reminded me why I never voted. And that's that our vote never counted, right? So for me already, I don't think I'm doing it next time, right? I'm going to sit it out. So there are a lot of people thinking like me already. So we're going to experience a lot of voter apathy because of the inconsistency in the Nigerian political and electoral scenes, right? So that's what's going to happen. So Peter Obi could change parties, like I said, and move to another party, and he wouldn't get the kind of support he got the last time. Like I said, voter apathy is going to be a real thing, right? So the race will be between the Hausa and the Yoruba. That is the power of incumbency now. Tinubu and the Hausa oligarchy, right? Let me say the Northern oligarchy. The Northern oligarchy are already saying, it's out there in the media, that a lot of them are saying they made a mistake supporting Tinubu, that they should never have supported Tinubu, right? Well, Tinubu is in office. That cry is coming rather late, right? So what I think is going to happen is that the Northern oligarchy is going to try to make sure that Tinubu does not come back in 2027. So they're going to put their all and unite against the ruling party right now, right? Now, question is, what would Yakub do at that time, right? What I think is that Tinubu would then not trust Yakub to be the leader of INEC, because we know how the Northerners are. They know how to band together, especially when they agree on one cause. You as a Northerner dare not go against them because there will be consequences. And so if the Northern oligarchs or oligarchy decides that Tinubu will not be the man in 2027, that means that Yakub will not have a choice but actually align with them. So that means that the ruling party and the presidency will not trust Yakub to run INEC, for 2027. So that means they're going to move. These are predictions that I'm making. They're going to have to remove Yakub and put a Yoruba man, at the head of INEC to ensure that, Tinubu comes back in 2027. So I have said it. Mark these words. They're going to come to pass. Now, the race will be, like I said, between the Yoruba and the Hausa and the North, right? Yakub isn't going to be the the leader of INEC in 2027. If it doesn't happen the way I've said it, I'll come back here and apologize to you. But I know this is going to happen because I've always said things that, came to pass in the life of this country, and this one isn't going to be different. So for these reasons, I think Peter Obi should sit 2027 out, right? Okay. If he wants to try, he should go ahead. But what I think is, it's my opinion, what I think is that it's going to be a waste of time, a waste of money, and of course, some more hate for the Igbos. And even I say, that is not to say that we're not going to go sit it out because we are scared of fights, right? But the question is, you have to do a feasibility study of every venture, and this happens to be one of them. What is going to be the outcome of this venture? Is it going to be profitable, right? What do I hope to achieve? If you're going into a venture, these are questions sure lucid brain, that you are seeing things clearly and that you're successful at the end of the day. Now, if you're going to go into it and spend all of that time and waste all that money and come out unsuccessful, why go into it in the first place? So this is what I think Peter Obi and his team should think about, right? But if they want to go into it, hoping would happen like it happened with Goodluck Jonathan and he became president. All fine and good. I don't know what they're going to do, but these are my opinions. I really think Peter Obi should sit it out and let them play their games. The system is too corrupt for anybody to win a clean election in Nigeria. It's always been corrupt. Prior to 1999, the new democratic dispensation, it was corrupt, right? Now, after 1999, it's been corrupt all the way. Our votes have never counted from 1999 till now. Everybody who's become president, everybody who's become held a political office, got it mostly in a very corrupt way, right? So I don't think 2027 is going to be different. And that's why I'm thinking Peter Obi should sit this one out. But we're going to watch and see how it's going to go. But why this is important for me, I said that the topic I chose is that 2027 political activities may make or mar Nigeria, right? The success of Nigeria's economy is directly related, to the success of who becomes president, their policies, and of course, who is elected or whoever takes office, right? The policies that the presidency makes, directly connects, to the growth or the death of our economy. So like we've seen in the last 9 years, right? Buhari was here for 8 years. We see how the economy was plundered. He ran on the basis of change, that they're going to make change. That means corruption isn't going to be allowed. But of course, we saw the level of corruption in that administration. It's in that administration that we saw a civil servant walk away with 80 billion naira. It's in that administration that the governor has walked away with 160 billion, and EFCC cannot even arrest that governor, right? So corruption was not decimated like they promised they would, and that was 8 years, lost. Now, this is the first year in the new administration of the same party, and we still see corruption going on, really. And it's not just that corruption is going on. Nigerians can't afford 3 square meals a day. Nigerians can't afford to keep their cars on the road. Look at the streets. The streets are empty. People can't fuel their cars, right? People can't pay school fees. A lot of kids are dropping out of school. This is really sad. This is really the sad part, right? Many primary school kids can't go to school. Their parents can't pay for their school fees, let alone secondary and university students, right? So it's really dire. The situation is really dire. And that is all tied to the political events of 2023. So if Nigeria is going to succeed, and continue to be a healthy country, both economically and socially, even politically, we have to get, our political acts right in 2027. So that's really what I think. I just thought to put it on record so that when it happens, you'd know that I said it.
We'll say, oh, the Messiah actually
Not
said
the Messiah.
Oh, prophet. Everyone.
Neither a prophet.
You avoided it.
But I've said it like I said. I predicted the $1 hitting 1,000 and over. It happened. I predicted, Peter Obi losing the last elections. I actually said what was going to happen. How it was going to play out. It's on YouTube. It's all happened the way I said it, and so many other things like that.
I think at this point I need to meet you to come and predict my life.
Well, I wouldn't do that for you. So the point is, this is going to be on record so that when it happens, I said it, right?
Okay.
So thanks for listening once again.
All right.